Hello everyone. Bamboo, as far as I know, has long been embedded in the culture and is a symbol of Japan's prosperity. Otherwise, for its sturdy and supple characteristic, bamboo is chosen as the raw material of many traditional crafts. There were a lot of comments asking me to rework the entire video about Shakuhachi. But after being released, that video has very little interest. Now I'm gonna cut off the head and just focus on the making part of the Shakuhachi. 1 shaku 8 soon is the standard size of Shakuhachi, and there are different sizes of it. The different size of Shakuhachi is made from different size of bamboo.
まずこれ1尺8寸用の定規なんですね。ここに8って書いてあって。この丸い印が指の穴が開く場所なんですね。で、この指の穴が開く場所に、例えばこういう風に節がかかっちゃうと1尺8寸にはならないと。
The making of shakuhachi begins now. Ohagi picks up a large tool. The nodes of the bamboo get softened by fire at some distance. In the perfect timing, wood pieces are put on the bamboo. This is tamanasi, the process to rectify the bend of the bamboo. It's important not only for the appearance, but also for the sound. All the bends on the nodes are rectified, one by one. The bamboo gets cut into 2 pieces after roughly cutting of the root with a grinder. The cutting point will be nakatsugi, middle joint. The root part full of nodes gets drilled to make a hole.
これで節抜いていきます。
The chisel called ken is used by twisting it.
これで下巻の穴の形が決まるので結構慎重です。
There's a tenon pipe inside the nakatsugi. He cuts a hole to insert a tenon pipe. Groove with a marking gauge, called kebiki. And cut a hole with 2 types of chisels. Nakatsugi enables them to precisely adjust the bore, which is important for the tune. Without the high precision, the air leaks out and the sound can't be made. Putting in and out tenon pipe gives the force to nakatsugi. To prevent the bamboo from cracking, the outer side of the tenon joint is reinforced with a string. We visited the Shakuhachi class. Ohagi is teaching in. He gives a lesson, focusing on breathing and having fun. This is Raphael from America. He came to Japan to practice Shakuhachi and works at a kindergarten.
YouTube で聞いたらなんか尺八の音がいいなと思って、で同僚が、尺八の吹きたかったら、先生がいるんですよって言ってくれて、それから、この授業に参加できるようになりました。
As a Shakuhachi craftsman, it is also important to convey the appeal of Shakuhachi. He starts the work at the studio. Draw a center line perfect for each bamboo. Mark the holes precisely. The finger holes are made with a powered drill. A little error can affect the tone. The next step is the making of blowing edge. Ohagi drives to a mountain, an hour away from Matsuwama. He doesn't hesitate to walk up the hill road. He came here to harvest bamboos for Shakuhachi. Cuts off the upper part and dig out around it with this billhook, not to hurt the root.
これだと本当に一尺三寸とかそういうサイズになっちゃうかもしれないですね。柄はすごいありますけどね。
Timber bamboo for Shakuhachi is very rare. The interval between nodes, length, thickness and curve. If you consider all the factors, it's hard to find many good ones in a day.
いやー、すごくいい竹やぶでした。尺八になりそうな竹がいっぱいありましたね。運が良かった。
But they have to be dried at least for 2 years to make shakuhachi. He continued to make shakuhachi. He prepares to cut the embouchure. A line to cut off along is drawn judging by a horizontal line on the finger holes.
中間地点ぐらいにも。
Then he cuts a hole in a crescent shape. This hole is to insert an inlay. Transform an acrylic plate into the perfect shape for the hole. Now the tip is in a perfect crescent shape. Wrap a short strip of the gold sheet around the tip. The tip with a gold sheet is inserted into the embouchure. Then he cuts off the plate and rasps the surface. You can see the embouchure with a gold sheet. It's time for the important process for the tone. First, scrape off the bumps and fibers in the bamboo with a chisel. File into the round shape with this tool called garib. There are still some node bumps inside. It looks smooth, but it's not ready to be tuned yet.
これで曲吹け言われたらちょっと困っちゃいますね。
The boar is then coated with a putty-like substance called yi, which is then shaved to give it an elaborate finish. The next is the breathtaking process of boar adjustment. On this day, Ohagi played Shakuhachi on Come to Matsuyama Jazz Festival. This is his first time playing Shakuhachi in a jazz concert. It's for having everyone listen to it with their own ears and enjoy it. In the workshop, the tuning process, which is most important in the making of Shakuhachi, begins.
さあ、
The boar is coated with a putty-like substance called yi, which is then shaved to give it an elaborate finish. Yi is made by adding water and Japanese lacquer to the mixture of grinding powder and plaster. Yi is spread on all over the boar uniformly. This is like competing with time, because yi consists of water and lacquer of which the surface dries quickly. This is a reamer that makes the bore diameter ideal by scraping off yi in a groove. But still, the surface is rough. It will be dried for a week in this state. While drying yi, he works with a silver string and a brass strip. He applies silver solder to them and braises them into ring shapes with a burner. Shape and braise them together to make them into silk hat shape. The silk hat-shaped ring is the connecting part of the joint. Each piece of natural bamboo has a different shape. The dried yi is being shaved a little by little, using a gauge to check the diameter.
内径測るゲージです。銀あたりまでは削りたいんですね。入るまで削りたいぐらいですね。
The numbers on the gauges correspond to the diameter of the bore.
こっちが缶の上の方の直径で、こっちが缶の下の方の直径になります。まあ上の方と下の方でだいぶ違いがあるのが見たらわかりますね。
多分結構いいと思います。この苦しい作業もこの音が出るのを一応確認できると、なんていうんですか、報われる感じはしますよね。
On this day, Kahagi came to Kagoshima with his master. It's for the Shakuhachi exhibition at the concert by Tozanmuru Shakuhachi Foundation, Kusu Branch. Kitahara Seikado in Kyoto and Sensu Shakuhachi Studio in Tokyo. The exhibition with those two are a good incentive.
やっぱりね、なり方もよく研究されてるし、いいんじゃないですか。
It makes him happier than anything to talk with the customers. We're gonna see how he tunes the shakuhachi. We asked him how to play shakuhachi.
メリット仮っていうのがあるんですけど、そのメリっていうのは、音程を下げる技法ですね。仮っていうのはここの開口面積を広げていくことによって音程が上がっていくんですね。という感じですね。でこれを組み合わせることによってこれがまあ首振り3年とかそう言われたりしますけどはい。
Holes made by scraping ye is covered with another type of ye with more lacquer. Once it's dried, the surface gets smoothed by sandpaper. Next, he adjusts the interval.
.この穴とこの穴ですね、が低いんで削っていきますね。
The pitch can be higher by shaving the upper side of the holes and enlarging them. The next step is to apply the second and finish coat of lacquer to adjust the interval. Put a wet paper on a spot in the bore and play it. If that makes a good change, apply lacquer on the spot. This is repeated to pursue the quality of the sound avidly. After polishing the outer surface, Yanmei Shakuhachi is finished with the best efforts by Ohagi. We asked Ohagi to play the shakuhachi in the presence of his master. We asked the master about crafting shakuhachi.
どういうな作品を作るかはそれも本人次第ですからね。音色一つにとっても僕の好きな音色と大江君の好きな音色とは違うとね。吹く人が求めているものをそれに応えていくのが、我々の仕事ですから。
Always do his best to introduce the appeals of shakuhachi. Make the perfect one for the customer and for himself to be satisfied with. With that ambition in him, the young man opens a door to tomorrow to step closer to his dream.